Before we start the kombucha making process, I'm going to strain my previous batch, and that little sticker that I pointed to lets me know not to go past that because you'll need about 12 ounces of starter for your new batch. So I'm just straining this, and this is what we'll drink throughout the week. I'll stick that in the fridge. And then that starter is just from the previous batch. So you can get store-bought kombucha and use that as your starter, or if you have, someone with a scoby, and they can give you about 12 ounces of starter to make a gallon. So you'll boil 1 cup of water, and this is per gallon. So boil 1 cup of water, and then you'll need 6 teaspoons of tea. So you can do green tea or black tea. I prefer the taste of green tea, specifically gunpowder tea. So since I'm using loose leaf, I'm going to add that to this French press. But if you have tea bags, you can just put it right in the pot once the water's boiling and turn it off and let it steep. And you'll let it steep for about 10 to 15 minutes. So making homemade kombucha versus store-bought is actually better for you because it has to do with the microbiome in your home, the bacteria that's in your home that gets into the kombucha when you're making it versus ones that are being made in a factory. It's going to be more gentle on your stomach, and just what's growing in the environment of your home, your body is going to be able to handle that a lot better. So once the tea is steeped for 10-15 minutes, you'll do 1 cup of sugar per gallon. I use cane sugar. I have a friend that uses coconut sugar, so you've got options. The sugar is what feeds the scoby, that bacteria, so it's going to eat it as it ferments. And you'll just stir that until it dissolves. Each time you make kombucha and that new scoby forms, you can either leave it on there, which is what I do in my continuous brews, or you can peel off that top layer and put it in a different jar with some kombucha, and that you'll form a scoby hotel, which you can use to then gift others. Or you can chop it up and eat it like a gummy because it is full of probiotics like kombucha, or even throw it to your chickens. Once it's dissolved, you don't want to pour that straight into your scoby and your starter because you can kill it. It'll be too hot. So you can wait for it to cool down. I usually just add some more water to it to make it warm or lukewarm temperature, and then I'll go ahead and pour that right onto the starter and the scoby. After you've poured that in, you've got your sweet tea concentrate poured in there. Now you're just filling it up with water after to fill it, not all the way to the top because you want to leave a little bit of room for a new scoby to grow a layer. And I'm just putting a little bit more water in the pot to get any remaining bits of sugar that might not have dissolved. And I'll just use that and fill the rest up with water and give it a good stir. And that's it. Usually it's about 7 to 21 days, they say, for fermentation. You do want to put a breathable cloth on top, which you'll see me in a couple moments here do. But you just let it sit. You don't have to give it a stir or anything like that. You just let it sit. I've noticed that in our home, it tastes good. You can start tasting it after a week. We prefer it around the 9-day mark. And at that point, that's when I'll go ahead and strain it like you saw at the beginning of the video. And then I'll start the process all over again. And because we all enjoy kombucha, I've moved on to that big glass one right next to it. That's the 5-gallon continuous brew. So we always have kombucha on hand while the next batch is fermenting. But yeah, that's it. It's a super easy process. It's just like making sweet tea.